Well, howdy everybody, this is Mitch. Welcome to my channel. I'm glad you're here. So today I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to be starting a new segment that I like to call Tips and Tricks Thursday. And so I'm going to show you something that I've learned over the years and try to give you some little tips and tricks to make things a little bit easier. But today what I wanted to show was real simple. Someone taught me a long time ago, how do you play chords and link them together and do it in a way that you're not constantly having to look at your hands. I'm not the best guitar player in the world, and so sometimes I wind up spending too much time looking down at my hands. And this method that I learned really helped a lot with that, and it's what the person who taught me called it anchoring. And I'm sure a lot of you have heard about this, but basically I've learned how to play most of the chords that I would play in my country songs through anchoring certain fingers so that I don't ever have to worry about, are my fingers in the right place. So this is going to be a real quick lesson, and I'm going to show some pictures to kind of guide you along, but it won't take very long to figure out this. Most chords that I use in my country music and in my songwriting are going to be G, I use C, I use D, and then I very often use E minor. So let's just take those four chords, and you can do a lot of songs with that. So one thing that I learned about anchoring, though, is that if you do these right, you can do these in a way that you never have to remove certain fingers. So I do a G that's a 4-finger G. So if you look at the chart, you'll see that the 4 fingers are going, the 2 bottom ones on the high strings are going to stay on the G when I switch to the next chord. So this is my G. Now if I take the top 2 fingers and move them both down 1 string each, and I'll show the picture on that, that becomes the C. Now you don't want to hit this top string because that kind of messes it up, but that's a version of C. Some call it C sus, but that's an easy version to play. Now I have still kept those bottom 2 fingers on the thing, so they're anchored in there. Now let me show you what happens if I wanted to go to an E minor. I can leave those bottom 2 fingers on there, and I can just move the C fingers over to both to be on fret 2, and that becomes an E minor. Now to do a D, D is probably your most complicated one, is because you can't leave both of those fingers down. But if I take these top 2 fingers off and I bring those 2 fingers down and I put them on the 1st and 3rd string on the 2nd fret, and then I just lift up my pinky finger, I still have this finger here is still, you can't probably see it, but this finger here is still anchored on that string. So if I was anchoring both of them, it would sound like this, which I actually use sometimes. It's kind of a cool sound, but if you want a true D, just pick up the pinky, and that gives you your true D. And so we can put those together, G, C, E minor, D, we're going to lift the pinky, and then when we go back to the G, all we got to do is put that pinky down. So it's... I never really have to look at the screen. I don't need a whole lot of money, no fancy cars or big fat diamond rings. All I need is for you to call me honey, 'cause in your arms I have everything. It's the simple things you do when you tell me I love you. You make all my dreams come true. And it goes on and on and on. But as you saw, I never had to look at my fingers because I wasn't moving around. I was only moving 2 fingers at a time. Because going from the G to the C, real easy. Going from the G to the C to the E minor, really easy. The D, you just got to remember to pick up that pinky. Man, you can make a lot of music this way and kind of make it look like you know what you're doing. So go give that a shot. Go have some fun with that. Try out some things. And if you liked this video, please give me a thumbs up. And I'd love to hear your comments. And I'll tell you what, since you listened all the way to the end, if you will leave me a comment of something that maybe you're struggling with, or something that you'd like to see, or something you would like to see if I could help you figure out, drop me a comment and I'll make sure that it's on one of my tips and tricks videos. So thanks for coming. Thanks for spending your time with me, and I will see you on the next video. God bless y'all.